Hello, I'm Laura Sam, Artistic Director of Women's Voices Chorus. Compelling, powerful, and beautiful music amplifies the angelic theme of this season's repertoire. Angels Among Us illumines the stories of angels, both sacred and secular. The message of the messengers is multifaceted, hopeful, healing, watchful, compassionate, merciful, loving, and revealing.
Hello, I'm Kay Johnson, President of Women's Voices Chorus. We are so pleased that you've chosen to join us for our virtual concert, Angels Among Us.
Hi, I'm second soprano Virginia Byers-Krause. I have had the pleasure of singing with Women's Voices Chorus for 20 years under the directorship of all our artistic directors, including founding director Mary Lycan, followed by Alan Friedman, and now Laura Sam. Now more than ever, I hope our voices can convey the highest ideals as described in the Baha'i writings. Quote, "The diversity in the human family should be the cause of love and harmony, as it is in music, where many different notes blend together in the making of a perfect chord." Unquote. I hope you enjoy the concert.
We begin with A Path to Each Other by Jocelyn Hagan and Timothy Tkach. We recently submitted this virtual project for inclusion in the International Choirs for Cancer project, complementing the theme of togetherness in our time of separateness.
Each word a stone, we can build a wall, we can build a wall, we can build a wall or a path to each other, a path to each other, a path to each other. Each word a stone, we can build a wall, we can build a wall, we can build a wall or a path to each other, to each
Hi, everyone. I've been singing with Women's Voices Chorus since it began in 1993. This year has been quite a departure from previous years. I miss the camaraderie and musicality of singing shoulder to shoulder with other women, but I've learned quite a lot about my own vocal strengths and weaknesses from listening to my recordings. And Zoom rehearsals have actually been a lot of fun. While I look forward to a post-pandemic world of singing together in real time, I will nonetheless remember this year fondly.
During my 16 years of singing with Women's Voices Chorus, I've had the distinct pleasure of learning new music from 3 different artistic directors, many styles, many genres, many languages. In the virtual environment, I'm still doing those same things, learning new music, many genres and styles and languages. Still, I yearn for the day when I'll be back on the risers with my circle sisters, making live music for a live audience.
Singing in a live choral performance has a certain amount of stress involved in it, stage fright. The adrenaline certainly ramps up, but recording a video for a virtual choir project is another level of stress. When you sing live, you don't see yourself. You don't hear yourself individually. So making a video recording and playing it back can be rather intimidating. However, when we see the final project, we again get to hear the whole choir together, and that makes it worthwhile.
One silver lining of the pandemic was the opportunity to collaborate virtually with two other ensembles, the Meredith College Choirs under the direction of Shannon Gravel, and the UNC Charlotte Charlotteans directed by Ginger Wyrick. The next piece from the Justice Choir songbook, Rise and Stand, was the finale for our December 5th collaborative virtual concert. Although we could not hear one another in person, we appreciated the opportunity to join our voices, 110 strong, on Rise and Stand by Ariana Abella.
I will rise with all my daughters. I will rise against my foes. I will rise with all the mothers. I will carry all their woes. I will rise to fight for freedom. I will rise to face with fears. I will rise against all hatred while my eyes are veiled in tears. I will rise for religious freedom, for a rich diversity. I will rise for all the weary, for each lonely refugee. I will work for all the women who deserve equal pay. I will work for all our children who await a better day. Sisters, oh, stand with me. Rise up hand in hand. Oh, stand with me. We will rise to spread love across this bitter land. I will rise for love and justice, where they see a better day. I will rise in peace and service for our world in disarray. I will rise with all my brothers for all those who cannot stand. I will rise with all our fathers who have lost a home and land. I will rise to build up bridges for this broken world we see. I will tear down walls between us that divide you and me. Brothers, oh, stand with me. Rise up hand in hand. Oh, stand with me. We will rise to spread love across this bitter land. Oh, stand with me. Rise up hand in hand. Oh, stand with me. We will rise to spread love across this bitter land. I will rise.
Joining Women's Voices Chorus has been a wonderful experience as a guest singer. I've been singing my whole life, but never in a virtual choir. And I found that making music right now during this hard time has been really therapeutic for me. So I'm enjoying trying new music and trying new technology.
Hi, my name is Katie, And until 2013, I was a member of Women's Voices Chorus. And then I moved away from North Carolina to New Hampshire, which is where I live now. So for me, one of the big silver linings of this whole pandemic thing is that I have the opportunity to sing with Women's Voices Chorus again due to the virtual choir.
A virtual season has many challenges, but we did our best to find areas of advantage and to make the most of these. One being the opportunity to meet virtually without regard to physical distance. This past October, composer Sarah Cortell met with us from her home in Canada to help us better understand her creative process and inspiration behind Snow Angel, a 5-movement piece that we have rehearsed this season. This next clip is a portion of our October 5th Zoom rehearsal with Sarah Cortell sharing her insights with us.
You know, it's been an amazing journey for this piece. I didn't set out to be a full-time choral composer. I don't know what, 20 years ago when I first started composing seriously, I set out to be an educator, a performer. I think I've been all of those things, but Snow Angel was the start of my composition journey. It was the first choral piece I ever wrote. And I actually wrote it when I was 18 and 19 years old. And although between, self-publishing it back in the day, 20 years ago, at that point, I've since moved to publishing with a major publisher. So it was sort of a piece that started me on this path and anchors me still. I come back to it years after the fact, and it doesn't feel like it was written when I was that young. It still feels current to me and still feels like a part of who I am now. And so I tell people the story. I say at that point in my life, 18, 19, you're trying to decide what do I want to do? Who do I want to be? What kind of stamp do I want to leave on the world? And at that point, I was carrying around a quote in my wallet, and you may have heard it, especially educators. 100 years from now, it won't matter how big my house was, the size of my bank account, or the kind of car I drove. What will matter is that I made a difference in the life of a child. And that was something that was just really, really going through my head. Important to me at that time as I was deciding what I wanted to do in university, where I wanted that to carry me. And Snow Angel came out of that place, that reflecting on potential, reflecting on the potential of our children, our collective children, our community of children that we support in our homes, in our towns, as a world. And the belief that those kids have such incredible power to do great things, and a lot of those themes come through in Snow Angel, particularly in the sweet child part, that direction that, with love and care and belief in these kids, they can be great. And so, I was thinking a lot at the time about, how my music too could possibly reach kids in different ways as I became a choral composer. And actually after university, I became an elementary school music teacher. I taught K to 6 for years and got to see that in practice, and still Snow Angel stuck with me then. I even pulled it out, the last movement, for my grade 7-8 choir one year, and we sang parts of it very, mostly unison, but this piece has been a lot of different places. And so the fact that you're singing it is extremely powerful and very meaningful to me, because it, as I said, this piece continues to have wings.
On a rock, head in hand, I sit. Long white hair falls now to my lap, and my old tired wings rest now at my side, peaceful, still. Dawn. I watch the day come into being, the gentle approach of the sun, the world above, the world below, graced with light. And I, witness of thousands of dawns, can't help but remember this morning near my passing, a time long ago when for a moment these wings which define my very angelhood became invisible. There was a spring festival in the countryside where I had been sent. Adults and children alike danced and celebrated the end of winter's shelter, the bountiful green beginnings, the harvests to come. My task was very unique, you see, for I was sent to gather light. Our world then, our world now, both bleak and bright, always on the brink of night. So, as the townspeople danced and sang, I opened my magic leather sack to let their light flow in. I went from town to town in this way, and in each town I passed through, people greeted me with a generosity of spirit and gentle kindness. Yet, seeking light, I had little time to respond in kind. When I arrived in the last village, just when I had almost enough light, I was stopped. "I've heard about you," said a young man close to the age I was then. "You are the angel gathering light to save us all from the world's night." "That's right," I said, a little too proudly for an angel. "But if you truly are an angel, where are your wings?" I was puzzled for a moment, sure that my wings were where they had always been, strapped onto my back with heartstrings. But I tried to flap. Nothing. I looked behind me. Nothing. Then, panicking, I looked into my magic bag. Nothing. Where is the light?
I'm Grace. That's what my father calls me anyway. Although most days, I'm not sure why. My friends call me Gray, 'cause I'm somewhere in the middle, between black and white, boy and girl, angel and human. I do have wings, though, and I'm 17 and hip, so they're tattooed, and I've even got a piercing in my nose. So, this is how it goes. We've been hanging around up here for a while now, waiting for heaven to fall, waiting for a call. Every day we look out across the sky, across the city, the urban playground for earthbound teenage angels. And every day we look, we see the city spread. We watch with dread the trees disappear, the rivers run dry. We anticipate the end of thousands of harvests. We watch with fascination angels in human form look without seeing, hear without listening, touch without feeling. I watch compassion disappear as if it were simply going out of fashion. Compassion. Out of fashion, as I suppose my own wings might be, tattooed when I'm old and wise. So, in a flurry, I transcend the borderland of the sky between you and me. I swoop down into the heart of New York City, of Montreal, of Moscow. I creep quietly through graffiti-covered alleyways, looking for a message, looking for direction. I look into the eyes of the people passing by for a message, for direction. And on one corner sits a woman with a boy child. She looks at me with innocent eyes. I touch her face gently. She smiles, then cries. Around the bend, near the end of yet another shop-lined street, lies a man. I help him to his feet. And then I come to you. You look at me as if I were anything but heaven sent. You cannot see past my tattoos, my piercings, past all of me that is different from all of you. Yet, I am also the same, you see. And so you let me take your hand. Let me show you compassion, I say. I lead you to what used to be a garden. It was your father's when you were a child. But you had forgotten, you see. And in the meantime, it became a parking lot. But look, I pointed. And there, pushing up through the pavement, a solitary red flower, unself-consciously perfect. I remember, you assure me. And so I leave you graced, an adult child in the garden of your father.
I am a small angel, 8 years old to be exact. I have a crooked nose and tiny wings. I like them because they make me a little bit different from everyone else, and that makes me special. I know I'm a special angel for other reasons too, because I'm one of the only angels my age who has a human friend. She's like me, 8. Where she lives, it's almost springtime, and the flowers in her mother's garden are poking their heads up through the snow. But she's sad. At first, I thought it was because she couldn't see her own wings. But I learned the other day it's because her best friend moved away, and she doesn't know who to love anymore. She is what adults call lonely. But I'm a young angel with a big heart and tiny wings, and I know how to love. So I went to visit her before bedtime the other night, as she sat in her window looking out at a winter's end. She smiled as I danced and sang my song, and she giggled, hiding her face in her hands, when I threw myself in the snow and flapped my wings. And when I got up, there was a picture of me left behind in the snow, and I felt happy because the little girl had laughed, and I felt happy because she could see love, like a picture in the snow.
Sweet child, I say, here at dawn from the rock of my old age. Sweet children, what do we do when the snow melts, when love remains, although love's imprint is gone? Once upon a time, I told you I couldn't see my wings, not because they weren't there, but because in seeking light I had forgotten how to give it. The energy of generosity, of compassion, of love is circular. Inside we know no differently. Look and see, hear and listen, touch and feel. Each of us inside, a child in the garden, a flower pushing through the pavement, an angel in the snow. Go.
Women's Voices Chorus has meant so much to me, particularly this year when I lost my son, age 39, to COVID. He lived in Japan and I wasn't able to go there for the funeral. But people in Women's Voices drove to my house, brought me food for weeks. They brought flowers, they sent cards and called. They were just like family. They are family.
Collaborating with Jacqueline Walters on our next piece, Angels of Mercy by Irving Berlin, was a great joy. Honoring Jacqueline's 50 years of volunteering with the Red Cross, as well as our many members who have also worked with the Red Cross in many capacities, including donating blood, was the reason I chose to include this piece in our season, and it is Jacqueline who sourced the images included in our virtual project. It is especially important that during this time when so many have sacrificed so much, we recognize the vital and extraordinary work of organizations such as the Red Cross.
Angels of Mercy speaks to me because my mother served with the Red Cross Hospital Service in Europe during World War II. All my life, I saw my mom help local military families and people affected by disasters through the Red Cross. As a volunteer myself for over 40 years, I'm thrilled to be part of this tribute to the thousands of Red Cross volunteers who help people every day.
I would like to take this opportunity to express my gratitude to Women's Voices Chorus members and guest members who participated in our virtual season, taking on the many challenges of making music during a pandemic and supporting one another through our many trials and triumphs. I feel that we are stronger as an ensemble for this experience, and that our resilience and growth mindset is integral to our strength. We would not have accomplished this season without the leadership of our dedicated board and president, Kay Johnson.
Love is expressed in many different ways. For us, one of life's greatest gifts is shared singing. It's a gift both to the singers themselves and to the listeners. Feel free to share your love and appreciation with us. If you are able, consider making a donation to Women's Voices Chorus at the address below. Thank you so much.
We hope that you enjoyed our virtual concert, Angels Among Us. We would like to thank our sustaining donors and invite you to support Women's Voices Chorus with your donations. At the end of this video, there's a QR code that you can use to make a tax-deductible contribution, as well as a link in the YouTube description. It takes more than love of music to keep a chorus running, and your financial support can make the difference between Women's Voices Chorus merely surviving and truly thriving. We are grateful for the support of our advertisers, whose ads you will also see at the end of our concert video, and deeply appreciate their ongoing support. While we wholeheartedly look forward to the day that we can again welcome you to a more traditional concert, we are grateful to have had this opportunity to share our virtual concert, Angels Among Us, with you.